Well, it's the end of like a 700-mile day. Let's see, where did I start today out at? Pretty much Ohio, Illinois line. That's where I started the day out at. Nothing but BS today. I don't know where all these accidents are coming from, but guy in a Volvo there outside in Indianapolis. Was it Indianapolis? Yeah, it was Indianapolis. I guess they're doing some road work, and they have a median that splits two lanes apart on 65. He decided I'm going to rip off my front end and my wheel and get stuck in the middle of the construction zone there. So that was a good, I don't know, hour, 45 minutes to an hour, back up on a Saturday waiting, considering they only had one little road, lane to funnel traffic, and then with the construction there and everything else, the way the road was, people just not knowing what to do. Went real bad. But I guess I'll start with how this week started. I ended up coming back, had Memorial Day weekend off. I got back early Saturday morning with a load. It's going up to New England. I delivered that Monday, and then Monday just couldn't find, by the time I got done unloading, it was near the middle of the day, and the load board was picked clean. I was calling loads that were already taken, So I ended up, I kind of refused to take, I guess it's Palmer, Mass, Sherwood there. I kind of refused to take that lumber loads because they're so damn cheap. But Monday morning came around, and there was there were 700-mile loads going for like $1,400 and stuff, and I was like, I ain't going down to South Carolina for $1,400. Believe it or not, it was like Myrtle Beach almost. So it just wasn't no good loads coming out of there. And then I started calling, and loads were being picked over. Nobody wanted to negotiate, so I ended up doing a Palmer. Picked it up, loaded pretty quick. I guess I got there early. $700 to go to Kingston, which Kingston from there is, I don't know, like 120 miles or something, 130 miles. And then I deadhead the rest of the way home back down into Hazleton. So, spent the night home. Got to see the tail end of my kids' baseball game. And, that morning I woke up, hanged out with the family, started calling brokers. And, it's actually starting, I don't know, I guess flatbed's starting to people are starting to come on this segment, but it's starting to get thinned out maybe a little bit. Or just, maybe people are blabbing their mouths that, flatbed's still making money, and so guys are moving over to it. And, I don't know. But, I can tell you what, I had a lot of loads cancel on me. Brokers call me back, loads canceled. So either somebody's taking these loads for the exactly what the broker's asking for it, or they're taking them for less. I hate. Now look, you're right. Everybody's going to say the low boards are not made to run off of. But guess what? When you're a one truck carrier, well, I'm not really a carrier, but even if I was, that's the whole reason I don't have I didn't reactivate my authority, because, first I unactivated because coronavirus. I should have just plowed right through that. Now looking at it, I would have made tons of money that last year and a half or whatever. But now, I'm only paying 15% to a carrier. I've been looking for a flatbed trailer, and I'm not paying, flatbed trailers I've been looking at, they used to be like $7,000 for the quality that I'm looking at. People are now asking $15,000 for them, and I'm not going to pay it, Now trailers that have like rusted out cross members and rusted out plates, the guys are asking $10,000 for, which there's about like $4 or $5,000 worth of work there if you have a decent welder. So I'm not going to do that. I'm guessing the market's just getting flooded. But like I said, I spent all day Tuesday. No, yeah, all day Wednesday morning, actually. All day Wednesday morning. Having brokers cancel loads on me and stuff. One, I had a good load going out to Idaho. I think it was Idaho. Might have been Idaho or Iowa. But it was just some crates that I needed to tarp and flat steel. It was a two-pick pickup in Allentown, and then pick up in Kentucky, and then run out. I think it was like 2,100 miles for $8,000. So, I was all over that. I got about 15 minutes away to pick up the Allentown load, and the broker calls me up and says, "Hey, that Kentucky, it's not going to be ready. What do you want to do? You want to still pick up the Allentown load?" I said, "No." So he's like, "All right, well, call me next week. The load's ready, and maybe you can go do it." I said, "It depends where I'm at." So he gave me Tano. So I might have got lucky there, or either that or the guy found somebody to do it dirt cheap. I think I might have saw it reposted on another, by another brokerage for like $6,000. I'm not 100% sure. But then, I ended up having to bounce back through brokers. I was almost ready to give up because the problem was I wanted to do something that was, made some money to make up for the week that I, from losing a day Monday and from the holiday and stuff. So I wanted to, at least gross $7,000 or $8,000. I'd still bring in about $4,000, depending on fuel and stuff. So I ended up almost getting this JLG load, which is it was 2 drops, one pick, 2 drops, but they were right close to each other. But apparently the carrier has something wrong with the 411. I don't know. Most likely there was a problem with a broker trying to screw the carrier, and they stood their ground. So that's probably what happened with that. I ended up finally getting this load, which was like a 200-mile deadhead, just about out to almost Altoona. Picked up some steel to go to pretty much Yellowstone. That's where it's going, Montana, Yellowstone, just about. And it's paying $7,000. So it's a good load. It was like just a hair under. It's 2,000 miles, pretty much right on the dot, 2,000 miles. But like always, I-70 in Pennsylvania had an accident after I picked it up and got stuck on 70. Because I'm not paying the freaking $300. I'm not paying the tolls on a turnpike, PA turnpike, and then Ohio. At least Ohio, I'm fine with paying the tolls on the turnpike in Ohio. The turnpike is reasonably priced, and the amenities that you get are bar none. But other than that, Illinois and Indiana, especially Indiana, even Illinois, their toll roads are garbage. All their roads are garbage. So, so I ended up going down into West Virginia, and then over to Ohio. But there was an accident there in Pennsylvania. It shut 70 down, and then I trying to follow Google because the truck GPS had no idea what the hell to do. I ended up got over to 40 some back ass way, and let's just say, if you're going to go up 40, if you ever have to hop off 70 there and go up 40, all I have to say is make sure your truck has like a 13 speed or an 18 speed and like some decent gears, because I killed this freaking truck hauling 46,000 pounds of steel with this direct 10 and 264 gears. This truck was made to run Texas, and up here, Idaho, pretty much flat land. It'll do okay with some decent hills, but that damn grade there on 40 has to be like I don't know, 8% grade, 10%, some stupid shit, 10% grade. So, and then there was the Indianapolis thing. So, I don't know. I'm kind of just winging it right now. Like I said, I did 700 miles today on ELDs. Just tired. Had a little incident in Chicago. A guy cut in front of me. Came around the one truck because they were stopping in the my lane. He's thinking that my lane was going to keep going, but they're stopping too. So he basically he got rid of my stopping distance is what he did, and and then he shot over at the last minute, because it was either I squished him between the tanker truck or whatever. So the load shifted because the way that I'll show you tomorrow. I'll end up sometime during, I'm going to get up early, but sometime during the middle of the day, I'm going to show you this load, kind of show you some tips on how I got the chains through and how I have it strapped and everything. But it's the I-beams, they're steel building parts, so the I-beams are on the bottom. They're chained. I chained them just so I had straps pretty much for all the other crap. But they had pallets on top and the wall sheet steel and all that crap is sitting on top, and it's all half-assed 2x4, built up ladders. It's not the worst I've ever had, but it's one of those loads that no matter what, something's going to shift or fall off of it. And when that happened, the one nail 2x4s that they nailed one nail into, of course, buckled over, and then the little pieces of 2x4, some of them fell in the road. Luckily, they fell right on the white line, and it didn't hit anybody or anything. It's the first time ever I've had anything ever fall off the goddamn flatbed in the last, 10 years just about, or 9 years of me driving. So, ended up having to pull in the rest area there and sit there for 40 minutes and restrap everything. And then I found out that they put little girders, the connectors for the beams. They put them on the back. Well, they had them on top, and I was like, no, we're not going to do that. I'm like, how am I going to really strap those down? They're just going to be floating up there and come loose and all kinds of crap. So we ended up making space and got them on the back. And I guess, good old Indiana toll roads, the whole time. It wiggled them out of the pallet, even though it was strapped down with two inch straps. It wiggled them off the pallet, and they were just like, they had gussets. I guess they're gussets, I don't know. But that was all that was really keeping them in was each other. And now it's like hanging off the back. So I know it wasn't like that when I stopped and took a leak in Ohio. Or no, I know it wasn't like that when I stopped and took a leak in Indiana. But by the time I got to somewhere midway Indiana to Chicago area, I probably probably Illinois, the freaking toll road or whatever, it decided to wiggle loose and slide back. So then I had to figure out a way with that and everything else. Like I said, I'll just show it tomorrow. Do a crash course in, flatbed securement, I guess. But yeah, life of an owner operator. Truck's running good. Ever since I did all that work, I got great air conditioning. Everything's going good. The only thing is that, I did all that work. I fixed the turbo, fixed the EGR, put a new EGR and all that stuff. But you plug the EGR in, you run this truck, and under load, you start getting turbo cough, starts billowing black smoke. There's just no lack of power. So something's up with the EGR system. I don't have no check engine lights, so I don't know if it's a sensor that's not communicating properly or sending the right data, but there's something wrong. And most likely what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw parts at it first, because it'll be 10 times cheaper doing that than taking it into a shop and having them try to diagnose something that doesn't have an actual code. Unless you actually find a technician that's well versed into Insight and actually knows how to read the parameters of the sensors and it can tell that, hey, this sensor is not giving the right data. Very rarely you find that anymore. Yeah, it's like shop rates skyrocketed, and technicians, you know, all quit. The good ones or the older ones, I don't know. Maybe they're all retiring. Maybe they turned around and tried to cut rates on the technicians, and they said screw this and quit. I don't know what's going on with that, but I've been finding it that working on stuff myself has been the best bet, especially when it's technical, I guess you could say, where you gotta make sure it's done right the first time. But yeah, so maybe I'll make a video of that too if I ever get this thing fixed completely. But right now it's running good. I guess technically the light is on, so it is kind of in a D rate. So I'm not getting 100% full power, but it's doing a lot better than before. And I'm not shooting exhaust, fuel out the damn tailpipe, or screwing up the turbo. So I don't know. Don't really have much else to share with that. Comment, like, subscribe. If I start getting some comments here, that's what I'd really like is people to ask me questions or want to know about stuff or know about the truck or anything. Because me just shooting off the cup, especially at freaking running like a total 11-hour shift, and then with all the crap in between, technically I basically ran almost the whole 14 and then the whole 700 miles. It just this video is not going to be top quality, I can tell you that. So if anybody actually sat here and watched through, I don't know, 17, 18 minutes of this, please like, subscribe, comment, ask questions. I don't know, anything. You want to see how the truck's set up. You want to know how much I bought it for, how much money I've put into it already. It's an older truck. It's an 07. It's technically non-emissions except for the EGR. I can tell you one thing. So far, besides the one Freightliner Cascadia I ran as a company driver there for a while, this is the only truck that I've driven. Well, the rest were all emissions, except for the oil-filled one that I rode for a little bit. This is the only truck that hasn't broken down consistently. Technically I did put a power divider in it, but I wasn't broken down on the side of the road, luckily. But this is the only truck consistently that I've had it, almost 8 months now, I guess, that I haven't been stuck on the side of the road getting towed or having it to go to a dealership all the time. Places I worked at had pack car. The truck I was lease purchasing had a pack car all the time, dealer only, always a fucking big hassle. The one Cummins, the truck I bought was a Cummins. I didn't know. The lifter, what the hell was wrong with it? The ceramic pumps in the fuel pump went and wiped the motor out. Luckily I was able to get out of that without getting too hurt. Let's see what else there was. I had another truck. It was a Freightliner where the SCR system took a crap. That was 16 grand to replace that. And then I got rid of the truck. I was just so fed up with it. I actually was saying I would never buy a Cummins again. But to be honest, I'd say probably the only trucks I would buy would be a Cummins or maybe a Detroit right now, a DD15. Open source software. If you really wanted to get inside, I could get inside. If you really needed to get, most scan tools that you can buy off Amazon will work this crap. Do regens and stuff. So, there's always OTR scan tool, which, I would say if you have a pack car, it's worth it. Buy it and, buy it and pay the, I don't know, $800 a year subscription or whatever it is. It'll save you, hell, I can't imagine how much money I spent in tows and then the dealership BS. Sometimes it was simple stuff like the EGR sensor was bad, but by the time they got done with the tow, them screwing around with their thing, an EGR, like the EGR went bad between, and then they were charging me, oh God, they were going to charge me like $4,000 for an EGR that I got a used one and put in. But still, I had to pay for all that, you know, them to tell me that and all that crap. I think the bill was $5,000 for them to tell me the EGR was bad, between that and the tow. And you know, I got a junkyard EGR, you know, off of I forget the name of the truck salvage yard, and then I put it in. But you know, it's just like that. I'm rambling. I'm going off the rails here. But like I said, guys, comment on some of this crap. Even if you just say, you know, your truck looks like shit, you look like shit, you're losing your voice. I don't know, something. You know, I probably should wait till when I'm not like dead tired and just, I guess, I don't know, slightly irritated with today. Slightly irritated with this whole run, but it's, you know, it's paying all right. It's paying good, like $3.40 a mile, I guess. So we'll see how happy I am when I'm in Montana and having a deadhead like 400 miles to go get a load. But I'm probably going to stay there. I'll probably go end up renting a car and going into Yellowstone is what I'm going to probably do. And if I end up doing that, I'm sure as hell going to take some videos and post them on here. So again, for the third or fourth time, like, subscribe, comment, and I'm going to go to bed. You know, have a good one, guys.